Visual Form Studio is a great tool by WiSys that allows you to modify or create new forms for the handheld device. To start a new form, you first need a project. In this case, we'll start a new project. Once you have a project, you can choose Add a Form or Add a View within the particular category that you'd like on the handheld device. In this case, we'll pick Distribution and add a new form. Once you've created the form, you have many different items that you can put onto the form. A text, text lookup, combo box, a date field, an empty space, or a button. Let's place a text lookup and two text fields and a button on our form. For the text lookup, let's give it a name and a caption. And then text 1, let's give this also a name for the item description. And lastly, text 2 will become our quantity field. Since this is a quantity field, we need to enable it so we can put in a quantity and make it numeric. For the item field, we want to go define what we're going to validate. We use a SQL event to do that. Under SQL events, choose New, and over on the right is a list of all the tables in the current database. Let's look at Item Master Table. For the Item Master Table, we're going to choose Item Description. And when the item description is returned, we'll fill that into the text item description field on the form. If there's no data returned, we should create a validation error message. We'll just say invalid item. But let's make it more specific. And let's put the actual data that was entered by the user into the message. Now we need to give it a conditional clause here. So we want to say where item number is equal to the data that was entered by the user. Let's go ahead and save it. And let's give our form a name before we save the form. So now we can click the Save button. And now we can see it over here in our distribution column. With Form Studio, you can also simulate it. So let's simulate what we have so far. If we put in some gibberish, it'll tell us it's an invalid item. If we put in a bolt, it'll find the appropriate description in the database. So now that we've collected our data, we want to take action on the data. So let's take our button and let's give it a name. And we'll call it Save. Now for action, we're going to click the lookup button on action, and we have many actions to choose from. We can choose to close the form, so in the event that the button is clicked, it'll close the form. We can clear the form, which will clear the form. We can print a document. We can print crystal reports within our document management repository. We could also do a SQL event, so we could take SQL and do an update or delete or a standard insert statement. We could open another form or a view. In this case, we're going to do a business transaction. This will be a Macola business transaction. From the list, we can choose from confirm ship, issue, different transactions for POP, where we can create orders, issue, release, production, staging. We can do peer receipt, post billing updates for OE, and inventory receipt, select for billing, shop floor activity transaction or material issue return, OE staging, transfer, or unconfirmed ship. In this case, we'll choose issue. So for the item number on the issue, we choose the item field. For the location, we'll choose our default location that is inherent on the device. For the quantity, we'll choose the quantity that was typed in. And for the username, it'll be the currently logged in user ID. We could also choose to select some bin and serial out properties. So if you'd like to collect bin and serial lot properties on the screen, we could do that. But in this case, keeping it simple, we're just going to do a standard non-bin, non-serialized item. So once the issue is complete, we'll clear the form to be ready for the next issue. Close, save, and let's simulate it. So we'll type or scan our item and a quantity of 1. So now the item has been issued, and now it's ready for the next issue.